The Moon, Saturn, Mars, Venus, Uranus, Jupiter, Mercury, Neptune, Pluto, the Sun and Earth stand as one though remain within their own individualistic expressions as all and each human being on Earth stand in the middle, the stabilization structures as the Moon. The motion and movement as the river within and throughout as Saturn, the uprooting of deception, secrets, lies and dishonesties during the storm as Mars for all to see. The placement and manifestations of the allowed creations and experiences to come face to face with each and every single human being's allowed creations as Venus, and the destruction of defined relationships being kept and held onto through fear of loss based and founded on deception, lies, dishonesty, and hidden secrecies as removal as Uranus within and throughout each and every single human being and experiences of themselves. The force which will bring forth into revelation and understanding the inner hidden secrecies as suppressed, forgotten, locked, secluded emotional turmoil as the cause and reason for experience of creation as it stands in this moment as Jupiter, and then Mercury as the compound and intensifying foundation which will support the process of revelation of all and everything that is required and necessary to be known and experienced by all as Mercury has manifested and placed itself within and as everything within each and every single human being that is to be revealed and will step forth and manifest as it as an experience for humans to realize and see their own demise, to be able to through awareness stand up, take responsibility and take action through application to not allow such an expression of enslavement by consciousness as creation again. Neptune as the manifestation and placement of the discontinuation of the momentum, motion, and flow of the river of separation and the experiences of each human being as their self-defined worlds based on inequality, deceit, lies, secrecies, and dishonesties, to place an infinite stop to the creation of separation within and as consciousness. The way that is in preparation as the children that are to come and who are here as I am here, I remain, I am equality, I am awareness, I am innocence, I am oneness, and I am honesty with self, to prepare the way for the new world to come, where heaven will be on earth, here. Heaven on earth as equal as one here on earth, as the sun makes way through the burning to ashes of the old, the fine and the intricate, so all that have gone before the children may prepare themselves to stand infinitely, stable and constant, here as the I am. I am here and I remain to within this aloneness where nothing else exists, nothing else matters, nothing else is here but I, is able to turn to the children as their example of who they really are in expression and practical application. Here on earth and within this, to never again allow such creations through separation by allowed and accepted consciousness. Here are all the planets as I have mentioned with their specific individualistic expressions as one as equals as human and dimensional beings will stand as one as equals though experience individualistic self-expression as the planets are expressing and becoming now, here in this process of full revelation. And I overly emphasize in this moment that all must remember and understand and know and see that all and everything is known and will be known as it confirms and manifests as the process of full revelation here on earth. Exactly as the dimensions have experienced the process of full revelation, so it will be on earth. Let it be known, understood, and seen that it's, till here no further, the statement that resonates across, through, within, and as the universe and is supporting and directing all in existence to remove, let go and give up the old, completely and totally. It may not exist anymore, not even refractions, as this is the only method with which the new world as heaven on earth may step forth into and as full expression, manifestation, and application here now. Here are definitions of the living words as per heaven's application to assist with the understanding and seeing of that which I have described during the process of full revelation that is already in motion, momentum, flow, and movement within and as each and every single human being's experience of themselves and their life experiences here on earth. Heaven's Glossary of the Living Word by Alice A. Bailey. Secrets. Secrets are deeds that are done, spoken, and thought of behind closed doors within this world and within each human being on earth. Secrets are that which is done, thought, and spoken of when no one is in close proximity to the one who is thinking, acting, and speaking, and are able to see the truth of the being. Words spoken, thought of, Deeds done and deeds thought of which have been kept secret from others to not be seen or known by those the words, the thoughts, the deeds have been thought of and done have been directed to and at. Secrets are words, thoughts and deeds that have been spoken or done in secret because they are in truth known by the one who allowed such applications within, and of them of the consequences that will manifest if the other would come to know of that which has been done in secret against them. Secrets as words, thoughts and deeds that are spoken and done against others and are kept in the confined, secluded, secret spaces of self so the other may never know and or become aware of who and what they really are because they fear voicing and doing in moments the truth they are experiencing through the fear of consequence such as not being accepted and liked if the secrets of the true thoughts, words and deeds are revealed. Thus secrets against and of others are kept, even of self as secrets are that which remain in secrecy with self so no one may see who the being really is inside and within this world. An example would be a close friendship that have developed between two females for instance. The one female when alone with many men will be vivacious and flirtatious, drinking herself into oblivion with support as alcohol, though when she is with her friend, she presents herself as being shy, proper, mature and in her place while in her friend's presence judging and scrutinizing in her mind through thoughts her friend's method of wearing clothes and dressing formalities, though besides this, complimenting her friend's method of ways of wearing clothes, and while in the presence of others when her friend is not around the scrutinizing and judgment of thoughts within is voiced as the application and experience of the manifestation of gossip. This is a practical example of the secrets as words, thoughts and deeds that are done and spoken behind closed doors away from anyone who might find out. As in the smaller, so in the greater where relationships between countries is relevant as secrets. Lies. Lies are the application, thoughts and words that are done and spoken within self and relationship to others. Lies are absolute projections of self, when the truth of self is hidden and placed in secrecy within self, and a second layer is placed over the truth as the lie which the being present themselves to be. Where a being, for instance a businessman, would for example stand in absolute petrifying fear and inferiority within conversation with others around him communicating about another to take on and fight as the proving of the win of the fight to be the status of his male ego being polished and shined. Though during this conversation within the petrifying fear and inferiority complex the businessman is experiencing, he projects the idea to others around him as being strong, superior, stable with a powerful, seemingly unbreakable stance as his thunderous voice resonates through the area in which they are communicating, with a $1 million smile plastered on his face, making vigorous actions as body language to in this way confirm that he is getting away with the projected lie of himself as who and what he is with others so they may never know his actual experience of himself as petrifying fear and inferiority. Lies within the applications of self and others in their world are also the projection of multiple different personalities of one being in the presence of others, where the one being will have multiple different projections of self as multiple different personalities as one different projection and personality for each being in their world who they encounter, never the same, always different, depending in whose presence they are. This is the application of lying to self and others in their world, to be a certain projection and personality to create an idea, a lie of who they really are to please, satisfy, or be accepted and liked. Suppression. Suppression is the action taken within self when a being, for instance, do not want others to experience them as being weak through fear of not being accepted, liked, or appreciated. Let's take for instance a group of friends or acquaintances where one in this group of friends or acquaintances becomes so angry, so sad, so disdained during a specific conversation held within the group which goes against who this being really is. The emotional turmoil experienced within is rising and building like a creation of a storm, but this is suppressed through this being not allowing themselves to express what is being experienced within and is kept there, remaining silent, keeping their posture. Suppressing this experience of expression as emotional turmoil building and rising within to not allow the others to know what they are really experiencing through fear that if expressed and voiced to the others as their friends, as their acquaintances in this group, they will not be accepted, liked, or appreciated and be banned from the allowance of participating and labeled friend or acquaintance group. Rather suppress, remain silent and keep to themselves to satisfy and please and remain accepted. liked and appreciated than voice and express the truth to be inevitably disliked and banned from the presence of others if dared to disagree in conversation with that which has gone against all that I am and who I am. This suppression of self continues and remains present to present a postured calm, accepted projection, and then one day, if the bomb that have been kept dormant within this being as suppressed turmoil as emotions never expressed goes off, the rage, the anger, the sadness and disdain could go to such an extent that it becomes an expression where harm is not only done unto others, but on self as well, as the consequence of suppression and not allowed immediate expression through fear of displeasing others when in truth, self is being displeased and dishonored. Deception. Self-deception would be when the description of self is given through words in communication with another as a boast of who the being apparently really is, but in truth what the being and who the being is not experienced, applied and become as who they really are in truth as constant stability and presence, infinitely here. Deception of and with self is specifically when words are spoken such as I am life, I am truth, I am purity, I am here, I am honesty. I am creation as statements of self to another in communication to project an idea to the other of who the being is, but when the conversation and statement of self is left in the presence of the other, the being clearly is not the words and the idea projected to the other in and during conversation. This is seen by the being in their applications of thought, word, and need which indicate dishonesty, deceit, lies and destruction with thoughts allowed to run rampant in their minds when not in the presence of the other being to which the lied projected image had been communicated through words and statements, which is not who the being really is in application as a way of life as who they are. Where the image and the likeness of the words spoken and actions applied are not one and the same, equal, deception is not only done unto self, but also the other with whom the being conversed with. Self-deception is the creation of a projected, self-deceived, created idea of self being shown and shared with others, where others are deceived into believing and perceiving a being to really truly be this projected idea as self. This self-deceived projection of self is then supported by those around them who hold this self-deceived projection creation in place through constant and continuous participation, which through time becomes more and more manifested and ingrained as self. As I have mentioned, with the support of those who believed and perceived this being to be the projected manifested idea of self which was shown and shared to them, the being who established the projected idea of self starts to believe and perceive themselves to really truly be this manifested projected idea of self and becomes the projected idea of self totally and fully, completely forgetting who they really are from the moment they had forgotten they had created the projected idea of self. This is the consequence of such self-deception, when a projected idea is created by a being and then through their allowance to deceive not only themselves, but also others, they are trapped and lost and enslaved within their own creation. The consequences specifically is that due to the nature of deceiving self, deception will resonate and become prominent within and as their experience of themselves here on earth, participating with those who surround them and will be for the remainder of their lives, exist in absolute dishonesty with self and others. The most prominent of consequences that will be experienced due to self-deception is the experience that no true intimate relationship with another will ever be able to be experienced. No long-term relationships will ever support them or sustain them or satisfy them, as this will be the reflected projection and manifestation of what they have allowed within themselves, where their relationship with themselves is based on self-deceit. Dishonesty. Dishonesty is the application where a true experience of self is denied. Dishonesty to a certain extent goes hand in hand with deception, while deception is the more prominent application. Dishonesty is the more suppressed application. Dishonesty as an experience would be the following. When a being, for instance, is preparing themselves for a night out in a club, bar, or social event, and during the process communicates to others, for instance, the specific words, I am going out dancing, to enjoy myself, for myself, and to have an absolute blast with all of you. When in actual fact the being's specific way of dressing and presentation as behavior and preparation is for the truth of discovering, being noticed, and being seen by a male or female as a probability to find the one, and not indeed for themselves, but to go out and trap another to fulfill their desire, want, and need for a relationship. This is the first moment, the first application and first expression of dishonesty not only with self, but also with others who surround them in their presence because of the first statement as going out for self-enjoyment, but in fact going to fulfill a desire for relationship. The fulfillment of desire for relationship being dishonest with self and the communication with others as going for self-enjoyment, dishonesty being reflected in their world and all that surround them. The want, need, and desire for relationship is the application of being dishonest with self for who each being actually really is. Has no requirement, want, or need for relationship in any way or form whatsoever as who you really are standing infinitely here as a quality in oneness with all of existence, alone, all one where no requirement, want, need, or desire of any relationship in any form or expression exist, because I am here as all as one equally, fulfilled in who I am as I am. As soon as the requirement, want, need, and desire for relationship exist, it's a statement of separation, a statement of inequality, a statement of loneliness, and all this is not who anyone really truly is. As these are statements and applications only able to exist in the enslavement construct as consciousness, this being the full cycle application and expression and experience of dishonesty with self, when self believes and perceives and allows the experiences of want, need, desire, and requirement for a relationship to become a statement of self. Justification. Justification is the specific application of defense, defending one's own application through fear of defiance by others who try and support and assist those showing as, per example, that your specific method of application is not honoring who you are. Justification as a defense tool is also used to protect a specific application which has been allowed to be accepted as self, and thus once someone directs you to show and reveal that the application to which you have allowed to define yourself as is not supporting you, you will use justification as defense to protect that which you have defined yourself as through fear of losing the application, and through fear of losing the application, you fear losing yourself. A descriptive example of such an action would be, for instance, when two beings had been involved in a fight where the other was extensively harmed, and now the being who allowed the extensive nature of the harm done to the other has to face the consequences of their allowed actions. When confronted, the being who allowed the application of extensive harm justifies his application through defending himself, in absolute fear of others discovering the truth, in stating that the other initiated it, that it was necessary actions taken to have the other learn a lesson once and for all, that he does not and will not regret doing it and will do it again if he has to. Through using these words, the being is validating and deeming his specific application as acceptable and must thus be accepted by all, when in fact the truth behind the being's application is due to their own inner conflicts, inner battles, inner emotional suppressed turmoil, which had been directed to and out on another unnecessarily. The justification through defending their application is done by creating another validated reason which gives his application an accepted appearance. Thus, by justifying their own actions through words that make sense to others which becomes accepted, the being then is able to remain in the application of taking out their own inner conflict, inner battles, and emotional torment on others, which assist and support them with this release through harming others. Their defense and protection of their specific application is then achieved through a justified reason and answer for the apparent necessity of actions taken.